it turns out I can. Yeah. Sorry, I went on a rant about Asperger's. In any case, let's get into this replay, where we're looking at Diamond versus Diamond, apparently. This is one of the reasons why we actually know that Krosis is Master League. 148, we'll call it 148.30. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Good day. Oh, wait. There was no wipe. Why is there no wipe? Why no transition? Good day, ladles and jelly spoons, and welcome to this map here. This map is Expedition Lost. In the top right-hand corner of Expedition Lost, playing for LGDES, which I'm going to assume is LGD Spanish Edition. It's the Red Zerg player, Elie. And the bottom left-hand position, playing for Forge Force Gaming. It's Krosis. So yes, we're going to get right on with the replay. Let's see. I'm not sure what I'm expecting out of this one, actually, because ZVZ tends to be... And I came up with the analogy of it being a knife fight. Azilus has augmented this analogy by pointing out it's a knife fight in a phone booth. So it's basically two people in a cramped space trying to stab each other. And yeah, that tends to be what it feels like. It feels like, you know, a lot of stuff happening very fast. And if you screw up once, then you get stabbed. But, unfortunately, only one of these players is going to come out of this phone booth alive. In any case, apparently Harbinger's saying this is the worst replay he's done, but such is life. By the way, if anybody else feels like hosting me and increasing the number of channels hosting me to 5, madness is this, please do feel free. It will all be very nice, and both pools going down at roughly the same amount of time. I'm getting both 14 or 15 pools. I didn't actually see, which I'm going to assume 15 pools. But now, no gas taken by anyone yet. Bit of extra base action. Making sure there's no proxy hatches. Because you know what? Cats is good, and his style is weird, but otherwise pretty shiny. But both hatches going down at roughly the same amount of time. Others I sent are better, but I wanted a variety of matchups. God, why do I play so fast? You know what, Harbinger? No one knows. What exactly are you doing? You're checking out your opponent's natural, that's for certain. Oh, that's Elie. Krosis, what are you doing? What are you doing to justify this astonishing APM? Spam! In fact, let's have a look at the EPM. Yeah, average 26, dude. Like, APM's 326 average. But 300 of that is not actually doing anything at all. But never mind, we'll carry on. So, Lingu going out as Scouting Lingu. Scouting Linguini. The pasta sauce of the gods. And thus we see... Actually, no, they're not. Okay, I could have sworn those were going to go out, but it turns out they might just be going for a fight. And therefore, the spread is good. And the fact they're getting pulled into the main, not so great, but hey, it means the queen can take part as well. These lings literally on move command. Which is why one of them's nearly dead before they get to do anything at all. They're, however, scouting lings and therefore can tell us everything we need to know. And the queen on the nat has not popped yet. But that ling is super dead if it gets caught. If it stops, I think those lings were just tasked to go out and come back. Thing is, if that... Okay, so Krosis pulls back a little, and then chases, possibly clustering up. The thing is, waiting there are our 2 queens and a Spinecrawler. Which means this attack isn't going to get very far if it gets anywhere at all. This is the point at which you pull back. The reversals. So wow. Such wow. Unfortunately, this Overlord is going to die. There's only one thing that can save this Overlord. And that is lack of high ground vision, because it can't get away from the queens by running. Oh, if the high ground vision hadn't been there. Oh, if there'd been something up on the high ground, then that would have died and supply blocked you pretty badly. But, Bending Nest coming up. Ling speed halfway done. And Elie actually not getting Ling speed yet, or Banelings. Just droning so hard and trying to get for roaches. That Overlord, by the way, so lucky. That's basically terrain feature abuse there. Because those queens could have had a kill there. If they'd just gone up the ramp, they would have killed it. That said, they might have exposed themselves to Lings at that point. The thing is, Ellie's droning so hard, she's trying to catch up. And has actually succeeded in doing so. Lings coming out. Again, it doesn't look like a massive amount of Lings. You probably want to see, like, there's the speed. You can tell because the little wings popped. The thing is, at this stage, the army supply is even. The only big deal here... Oh, and that Overlord, so lucky not to be dead, has now provided super useful information. The big deal here, though, is Elie has no idea that these Lings are up here. Although, to be fair, they're going to go and kill the third off. And the third for the drone. The drone for the third gets away. Because Kanshiro. Creep tumors? My neighborhood? Right. No, this is not an attack that's going to work. The thing is, as anyone in this game at all, you should have something watching this rock. Anything watching this rock, then you get people knocking it down. By the way, this is one of the most frustrating things in StarCraft at the moment. Look at these rocks and tell me how much surface area, in theory, should be attackable by Zerglings, and isn't. That seems like quite a lot of surface area. Just that bit there would be an extra 3 Lings. Which, I mean, this attack would go in a lot faster. And the 6 roaches that are popping on the inside of the... Actually, they're popping in Krosis' base. Keep getting the colours wrong. Elie going for +1/+1, though. And 2 hatches at once, because one of them is a hidden expansion. Again, these rocks are the main target. And if the roaches come up with... Then actually this could be brutally efficient. Because the army supply is currently 37 for Krosis and not 37 for Elie, who is relying on this main entrance here to keep her alive. The thing is, the roaches could make such a difference if they just went up to the rocks right now. I really hope they do. I think also the fact that these 2 Lings... Right, these Lings are doing 4 damage a shot, really. And they're doing 2,000 hits, so that's 500 hits. 500 hits divided by 45, divided by 4 is 125 hits. That's 125 hits per Ling that's actually able to attack the wall. And if Krosis goes in now, this game is ogre. No, Overlord speed is not there. You did not get Overlord speed, and your opponent's making roaches! Lots of them. That would have been a good time to go in before that happened. But it's a little late now. That said, these Lings could still potentially do quite a lot of damage by bending busting the mineral line. And Hydroden is on its way out. The problem is, these roaches would have been so useful if they'd been up the front, but never mind. The Lings will eventually bust their way through this ice, they'll need to hit it a few more times. We're just seeing... Actually, another thing that would have been good would have been Glial Reconstitution, which is just starting now. Ooh, nasty. But the rocks are down and the Lings go in. And the Queen of the Main is dead before she even knew what happened. Actually, that's a lie. She knows exactly what happened. And the Lings have to run like hell. Actually, they're not that much faster than roaches on Creep. Move speed of 3. Move speed of 4.7. So they should be able to get away. But the attack on the Queen has basically crippled the main slightly. Because apart from anything else, there's a macro hatch up here. Oh, the Lings have died. Long live the Lings. The thing is, at this stage, actually, Krosis is still ahead. The Roach Ball, the Mahoos of Roach Ball, is actually bigger for Krosis. The other advantage of Krosis being not really anything. I mean, the fact that the Ellie's roaches have speed, which is actually a problem. But if we're looking at number of roaches, we see 36 to 28, so it might be enough roaches to overcome that deficit. The problem is, Ellie's getting Hydras, and as we all know, Hydras do horrific DPS. Ah, misclick on Ovi speed, got it, tried to get it while there wasn't a lair. Well, we'll see. 2-2 coming out for Krosis, +2 weapons coming out for... Oh, there's +2/+2. And here is when the fight begins. The concave is better for Elie, and therefore Krosis recognises this fact and moves straight back, getting out of there. And the Changeling dies. Which is not good, because that means that Changeling was in there the whole time. But Elie now a little bit blinded. Actually, I say that. Elie knows precisely where this army is. Changelings. Na 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 na. Also a Tastelope. Tastelope. Apparently there's an Artisalope as well. But yeah, there's another reason why getting Hydras out would be good. This means you can abandon Lings altogether, which means if you see Lings like this, you know instinctively that they're not yours. But actually, Elie getting some really nice vision off here. And therefore has actually seen the Banelings. The Banelings. Yeah, da 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 dee 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 dee. Actually, that'd be a brilliant thing. Just replace all of the Simpsons characters with Banelings. But Elie, having seen this attack coming, is in perfect position to stop it because Changelings in the army. But Baneling's actually getting some seriously good connections there. Good lord, that was amazing. And a Hydralisk getting caught at the back. Gets kicked off with no regard. The Banelings actually did a sizable amount of damage there. That was impressive. Pushed up back into this concave. That, however, is not a concave that anybody wants to have to take. And this queen here, while she's good, she's about to lose her life. And the Roach Warren is going to go down! Oh, snap. That is literally the last thing you wanted to see. Also, the Roaches on the inside trying to stay away from the Banelings. Because they do tons of damage when you're clumped up. And both players think they can take this. I think Krosis has the lead, though. Just because he had the Banelings, because he had the concave. I think it might be close, though, because the Queen is providing some serious chance to use action. But no, it's good. Krosis wins that fight. And might actually be able to kill off these upgrades before they finish. Nope. Not this time. The upgrade difference is actually going to make quite the difference, but I don't think it's going to be enough because Krosis managed to get up into the main, do some serious damage to the Roach count, and push 104 army supply to over 50. To less than 50 now. But a gap of quite serious, more than 50 in army supply. Usually, especially when Hydras move command like that. Usually means that this game is a little bit ogre. But Elie fighting it out, trying to get there. Krosis, by the way, maxed again. You know how it is. But unfortunately, Elie not having the Roach Warren to make Roaches with is now making pure Hydra. And that is not the way to get forward in the world. Especially because this Roach Warren might actually go down before it goes up. Or, no, it'll finish just about.